Everyone, you're watching Good for the Game TV, and this is our preview of stage 20 of the Tour de France. We'll also have a look at the latest betting of what was a very dramatic and ultimately anticlimactic stage 19 yesterday. Well, what a stage that was. We had drama all the way through. I started off, of course, with Thibaut Pinot withdrawing with a muscle injury. Very, very sad scenes, and he was absolutely devastated as he got into the team vehicle. Of course, I was pretty devastated that my top three mountains bet was also gone on him, which was not great. But anyway, that's the Tour de France for you. And we were in for more drama as the day went on. Because, of course, as we got to the top of the penultimate climb and started going downhill, reports came out that there'd been an avalanche and that the road was unpassable further down. And yes, the stage was effectively abandoned at that point, and times taken at the top of the penultimate climb. Although there was no stage winner awarded. So if you go and have a look at the official Tour de France classifications, there's no winner of the stage. But Egan Bernal, of course, was the big winner. He crossed the climb first. He also, I think, got an 8-second. Yeah, he got an 8-second time bonus there as well. And let's have a look at the general classification now, because and we'll talk a little bit about what happened yesterday. So Bernal has now gone into the yellow jersey. You'll see when we look at the betting, he's a massive favorite. Julian Alaphilippe had been dropped by the top of the climb. May have caught the group in front of him on the descent. I don't think he actually would have. He's actually stayed in with a chance of getting the top three here, which is not good news for me. The fact that he didn't give up big minutes, as I believe he would have on that final climb. But I think mentally he has resigned himself to the fact that he won't be winning the race, and there is every chance he goes backwards today. Geraint Thomas, I'd have to put him in as one of the losers yesterday. His teammate obviously attacked. He actually attacked over the top of him. But Thomas looked very much in control, and who knows what might have happened on that final climb if Bernal would have kept going all the way. Thomas may even have, at some point, bridged across to him or something along those lines. So, a bit disappointing for Thomas. He really now has to ride for his teammate, Egan Bernal. Kruijswijk and Buchmann, they both looked pretty good yesterday. Kruijswijk did try and attack. And the two of them, assuming that Alaphilippe cracks, will really be battling for that final podium position today on the final climb. Landa, well, he didn't have the legs yesterday. There's no doubt that Movistar set something up for him, but he just didn't have the legs to attack and follow the likes of Bernal on that final climb that they ended up doing yesterday. So he's too far back now at 4:35. He can't be a factor in the outright, and neither can Nairo Quintana or Uran, who certainly showed some good legs to get into the break yesterday. In fact, yesterday's stage went very much initially, as I predicted. I did say Valverde would probably get in the break for Movistar. It was one of those breaks that took ages to form, but did get there in the end. But unbelievable. I mean, I haven't seen scenes like that before, and you could totally understand where the organisers are coming from and why they didn't, why they had to effectively cancel the stage. Or I'm not sure what the correct word is, because of course the times still count, even though there was no official stage win. And quite a lot of people in France saying the stage should have just been cancelled and Alaphilippe should still be in yellow. Well, thank goodness for me that didn't take place, because then I really would be in big trouble. Let's have a look then. I'll go on to World Sports Betting Stats. Let's have a look at the latest outright betting. And here we got Egan Bernal. He's now into 1-10. You can get a 10% return on your money if you back him to win the Tour de France now. I tell you what, the way this Tour de France has gone, the favourites haven't lasted for long. They've come into favourite, and before long they're gone. This is, of course, by far the shortest price favourite we've had at 1-10. And it is hard to see Bernal getting beat, especially as you see we've got a shortened stage today once again, unfortunately, because of the weather. Geraint Thomas, his teammate, 9-1. There's no doubt Ineos control things. It hasn't been a typical, what you would call, Team Sky victory. They haven't tapped peloton at the front, tapped tempo at the front of the peloton all the time. And this is actually one of the few, I've never enjoyed it when Team Sky have won Tour de France's, but the way that Ineos have won this one, I much prefer. It's been, they've been on the back foot, and they've had to show some out-of-the-box thinking, and well done to them on that. Kruijswijk, Alaphilippe, 33-1. Buchmann, very, very, very unlikely that anybody can really threaten the yellow jersey, other than perhaps Thomas, if he responds to a move that Bernal can't respond to, or something along those lines. Let's go on to today's profile for what it's worth. Unfortunately, we've had 2 climbs taken out, and we've got a short 59.5 kilometer stage. It does end on a climb, 33.4 kilometers at 5.4%, which is obviously really long. There's quite a few steep ramps in there, and there's also some sort of downhill and flat portions, which is why The average gradient is not that high, but essentially it should be 33 kilometers of hell for a lot of these riders, because you've got to imagine there's now a flat section of sort of 24 Ks. There'll be guys who try and get into a breakaway, but even if a breakaway gets away, it's not going to be far ahead come this mark. I can tell you it's going to be race on from the start, and at the bottom of the climb, there's going to be teams pushing it. I'd like to see the likes of Buchmann's team, who looks very strong, actually, Bora, even perhaps Peter Sagan on the front of the peloton, pushing it on the early slopes and trying to create some distance between themselves and Alaphilippe. Alaphilippe, I'm sure, will hang on for quite a while, but I do believe he will eventually crack on that one. Let's go and have a look at the stage betting now. And here we have Egan Bernal at 2-1, Simon Yates 13-2. I don't see a breakaway winning this, but I guess Yates, if he is at his best, he's capable of riding with the GC men and then perhaps sneaking away late. Geraint Thomas 13-2. You'll see I have included Thomas in my staking plan. I'm not convinced that this is all in for Bernal. At the end of the day, Ineos would be happy for Bernal to win. I can see a couple of scenarios where Thomas can win this. One where him and Bernal come in together, and Bernal essentially lets him win. Alternatively, where Thomas responds to a late move from one of the other GC guys, and Bernal, knowing they're not going to get his yellow jersey, continues to ride at his pace. Mikel Landa, definitely a runner today at 15-1. I was quite tempted to put him in. And then Quintana 20. Warren Barguil, who gave me a good run for my money yesterday, even though it was refunded, 20-1. I think let's leave it at that as far as the outright betting goes. Quick pop onto Twitter. Will Newton, his marathon session is coming to an end. We'll keep it going, son. One more stage for you into Paris. He, of course, had to redo effectively his whole preview thread with a route change, and you can read his preview there on Twitter. Always good to give you a good insight into the route, which, as I say, is only 59 kilometers. Let's go to my bets then, because a couple of interesting ones I'm going to throw in here. First of all, I'm putting half a unit on Quintana to win at 20-1. He delivered for me a couple of stages back at 33. It was clearly in his legs yesterday. Didn't look that strong, but he's the sort of guy who bounces back. And I can actually see a situation near the top of the climb where perhaps 4 or 5 of the GC guys are still together and 1 or 2 of the fringe guys. And perhaps someone like a Quintana can take advantage of that and jump clear without being a threat to any of them. They may not chase him down. So Quintana at 20-1 and Thomas at 13-2. I've given a couple of scenarios there. He could come in with Bernal, or possibly he could jump then onto the wheel of a Quintana, or perhaps even one of the Lando or someone like that, and could use that to win the stage. So Thomas at 13-2. But my main focus today is definitely going to be on match bets. I think there's a bit of value in backing Thomas over Bernal today at 15-10. I don't think there's that much between them. And I think ultimately Ineos will ride this as defensively as they possibly can, and that Thomas will mark moves, and that could see him finishing above Bernal. If it is raced at full speed all the way, and this is an absolute gunfight up the final climb, then yes, Bernal will probably win the stage based on current form. But I think Thomas might be able to edge him, and I like that price. Valverde over Alaphilippe at 12-10. Well, I'm banking on the fact that Alaphilippe does crack here. I think there's a good chance he will. And Valverde has looked his normal, consistent self. He may well even fancy a go at the stage win here. So Valverde over Alaphilippe at 12-10. And then Martin over Gadu. I didn't put a price in there, but that's at 11-10. So Martin is a guy who's still been impressing me. He's obviously still riding for a high classification finish for his team. And Gadu, of course, has been working for Thibaut Pinot. He's been absolutely brilliant in the mountains. I can understand why he's favourite in a sense. But I also wonder, he has been showing signs of weakness of late. And at the end of the day, let's face it, everything he's been working for in this Tour de France, namely a Thibaut Pinot victory, all went up in smoke yesterday. And what does that do to a rider mentally? He might just be ready to pop now. And I think Martin will perhaps have more motivation today at 11-10. Valverde over... the Valverde, not over, I shouldn't say here. The Valverde Martin double. Let's just change that a bit. That works out at 3.63-1. So Valverde to beat Alaphilippe, Martin to beat Gadu. And if you throw Thomas into the treble there, that works out at 10.5-1. That's all at WSB. So those are my bets for today. Hoping for an exciting stage, but yeah, very disappointed in the way this tour is ending. No fault of the organisers or anything like that. In fact, I think it's been an absolutely brilliant route, but just sad, first of all, that Pinot went out, and sad that we're not going to see the full battles. We lost a climb yesterday, and we're losing 2 more climbs today. So just disappointed we're not going to see the race that tour organisers expected us to get. But anyway, it's been a great Tour de France. If you haven't subscribed to our videos, please do so down below. You can stay in touch with me throughout the year. And make sure you're around next Tour de France, because that, of course, is going to be exciting. But, hey, we do have one preview to go. We'll preview the final stage on the Champs-Élysées tomorrow, and that will be out on Sunday morning. For those of you rugby fans, I will put a couple of links up to, for example, our preview of the Rugby Championship, a Currie Cup action, the handicap. And, yeah, let's hope we're in for a good performance later this morning. Thanks, everyone, and enjoy the tour. Let's hope we get the action we are craving.